بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Welcome dear students. This is Miss Layla Al-Jihani. Inshallah, we will continue today our unit 2, life stories. Inshallah, our lesson today will be about the project. Okay? If we want to revise what we have taken the previous lesson, we read some conversations about life stories, and we learned how to for you to express yourself, to talk about yourself using past tense. Also, you created your own personal timeline. Do you remember the timeline that we did previous lesson? Inshallah, we will use it today. If you haven't done it yet, pause the video and do it, please, because we're gonna use it in today, inshallah. For the objectives for today's lesson, by the end of this lesson, inshallah, you will be able to write a biography of a famous person. يعني إيش? We will see in the lesson. I will explain everything. Okay? طيب, for your homework, I told you to write your own story, to draw your timeline, and then write your own story. Convert the timeline into writing. Okay? So write your life story. Say, where were you born? Where were you raised? What happened when you were raised? Talk about your education. Okay? Include important events, accomplishments, and influences in your life. Who influenced you? Who affected your life? What did you do in your life? Okay, so all of that, you should include it in your writing. I'm sure you have done that already. So this is a sample of the timeline before. Do you see this timeline? We talked about it last class. Okay, we said this is Muhammad's timeline. Okay, when was he born? We said he was born 1988. And another question, what happened in 2011? He graduated university. So we have all of these events in Muhammad's life and all of these important years in his life. Okay, so we have to change this timeline into writing. You should have done yours. You have your own events, own years. I'm sure you are younger than this. He's an old person, Muhammad. Then change it into writing. Let me show you how I changed this timeline into writing. Okay, let's see this sample. I changed the timeline into this writing. Let's see what we read written. Let's read it together. Muhammad was born in Riyadh in 1988. His family moved to Mecca in 1995 and grew up there. In 2007, he graduated from high school. Then he finished his university studies at King Saud University. In 2012, he started his career as an English teacher in his local school. So this is the timeline we had. We changed it into your writing. What about your timeline? What about your story? Can you share your story with your colleagues? Can you read it for them? Tell them your life story. So you have to share your stories, learn more information about each other. Okay? I want you now to open your workbook, page 100, please. We have a picture in front of us. What do you see in the picture? Excellent. We see a boy. What is he doing? He is playing video games. He is playing video games. I'm sure you have a different picture in your book. So how is your life different now from then? So imagine that this boy is you when you were young, okay? So he wants you to imagine that you are 7 years old. خلاص? Compare your life before, when you were 7, and now. Is it different? Is it a lot different? Well, it's a minor difference. Okay? Complete the chart with your idea. Let's see the chart together. Here, when I was 7, I used to. So here you will use I used to. Now I am older and what do you do now? Write it. Write the things you used to do before and the things that you do now. So we will use used to, the past, habitual activities we used to do, and now we will talk about the present now. So if you can give me ideas, tell me something you used to do before. Okay, before I used to go to farms, go to parks, but now I don't anymore. Okay, so you stopped doing that. Now, excellent. Can you give me other examples? Excellent. I used to play outside the house. Now I don't do it anymore. Excellent example. Can you tell me other examples? Excellent. I used to play a lot with my siblings. Now I don't do it anymore. So these are some of your examples. Excellent. I'm sure you have more. Pause the video and think about the things you used to do when you were a child and the things you are doing now. Okay, how different your life? How is your life different? This is an example. I'm sure you did something better than this one. So this is just an example to see how are we doing, how we fill out this chart. Sleep with a teddy bear. This is something I used to do. I used to sleep with a teddy bear. Do you know what's a teddy bear? It's a toy, okay? I used to eat a lot of cookies. This is something I used to do. Now I don't do it anymore. Play a lot of video games. This is something I used to do when I was 7. Play with my neighbors every day. Okay, let's see now. How is it different now? Okay, I don't sleep with a teddy bear, so I stopped sleeping with a teddy bear. I don't do it anymore. Eat a lot of fruit instead of cookies. I started eating a lot of fruit. Play football with my friends. Visit instead of video games. Visit my neighbors once every 2 weeks. So you started visiting as a grown-up person instead of playing with them every day. So this is before and now. So this chart, we have to change it into writing. We have to do the same thing we did with the timeline. خلاص, we have to fill out. Do you see on the bottom of the page 100, you have a place. Write a paragraph, only one paragraph, about your life then and now. Compare your life before and now. Write what you used to do and what you do now. طب how do you write? You use the chart. You use these information. You use these. And then convert it into writing. Pause the video, think about your sentences, think which tense are we using. If we're talking about things we used to, we talk about the past. And when we talk about now, we use the present. Please pay attention to that, okay, when you are writing. Let's see the sample. I changed this chart into writing. Let's see. Then and now, this is the title. You already have it on your book. When I was young, I used to sleep with a teddy bear, but now I don't sleep with one. So this is comparing before and now. I used to eat a lot of cookies. Now I eat a lot of fruit. I used to play a lot of video games, but I play football now with my friends. I used to play with my neighbors every day, but now I visit them once every 2 weeks. Did you notice the time expressions explaining before and now? This will show which activity you are doing now and which activities you used to do. So when you use every 2 weeks, before, now, these words, when I was, these words, we use it when we are telling a story. When you tell a story, these words very helpful to make your writing more understandable, okay? But for today's lesson, our project today, page 20, our project, you have to write a biography, okay? So he wants you to choose a famous person and research the events and accomplishments in his or her life. Write a biography of the person. Present the biography to the class. طب يعني إيش يا miss biography؟ إيش هي الbiography؟ Do you remember previous classes? What did we read about? Who did we read about, and who did we listen to? We listened and read about a lot of biographies in our unit. We read about King Salman bin Abdul Aziz. This is a biography. We listed his name, when he was born, what did he do in his life. This style of writing, we call it biography. And also, if you can remember, when we listened to Prince Sultan bin Salman, when he was born, what did he do in his life? This listening also, it's a biography, okay? It's true information. Is it fiction? Is it imaginative? No, it is true story, okay? Also, another one we did as a homework, Prince William. Do you remember? It's also a biography. All the true facts are listed in his biography, okay? So, طيب يا مس كيف يعني إيش biography? What is a biography? It's a person's life written by someone else. Do you write a biography about yourself? No. You write a biography about someone else. You don't write a biography about yourself, okay? It's a different kind of writing, okay? So the biography, you choose someone and then you write about this person, okay? Why do people write biographies? طب إحنا ليش نكتب الbiographies? Why do we write biographies? It is written to inform and inspire the reader about persons, usually an exceptional person. He's not any kind of person. He's an exceptional. He did something great in his life. So we write about this person's life. So we want to inform and inspire someone when he read, he's a really great person. I wish I can be like him, okay? Or her, okay? Also, we write biography to tell the person's experience and achievement. So we know his things he has done in his life. We know what did he do, what did he accomplish in his life. So a good biography should include what? 3 ideas. يعني when you write a biography, you should include 3 things. What are the things? Early life. You should include the early life of this person. يعني إيش? You will write about his childhood, his family, where did he grow up. So you will write about his early life, okay? Also, you will write about important achievements, great things he has done or she has done, what the person will be remembered for. So what if this person dies later on? If he dies or she dies, what will people remember him for? What did he do in his life? Mention the great things he did or she did, okay? This is what we should include in the biography. طيب, in the biography, we should start with an introduction. In the introduction, what should we write? Introduction, it's considered very important. Why? Because it grabs the reader attention. طيب, when the introduction is very interesting, immediately the reader will continue reading. He will not stop, it's boring, I will stop. لا, he will continue reading, okay? It grabs the reader's attention and encourage them to continue reading. They will not stop. Why is it in the introduction, what should we write about? We should introduce the person. So we should talk about the person, introduce the person to the reader, okay, and explain why are they famous, and tell the reader why are they famous, okay, in a small introduction. Like for you, your level, I would say 5 sentences is more than enough for an introduction, okay? So we will move on to the body. The body, do we write only 1 paragraph in the body? No. The body minimum, the least number will be 2 paragraphs. So we have the introduction and we have the body. Al-body, we have to divide it into 2 or 3 or more. It depends on you. But the minimum is 2. You can't write only 1 paragraph. No, it will not considered a body, it will be considered a paragraph. And your writing will be long and confusing. You have to divide it. It will be more neat, more good to the eye, more good to the reader, okay? طيب, what should we write in the body? A series of significant events which are written in chronological order. What does chronological order? We talked about it previous lessons. يعني you can't start by saying he graduated from university in 1998 and he when he was a child he did that. لا, it should be in order. Do you remember the timeline? It should be by years. You can't start from the end, from now, and then go back to the past. It should be organized in a chronological order. You should include what? Early life, the childhood, as we said, his family, what did he do, what did she do, okay? Early life achievements, the things he done when he was younger, not now, when he was younger, as a beginning. Remember the chronological order. How he or she became famous. How did they become famous? What happened in their life and suddenly they are famous? Okay, before they did things, then suddenly they are famous, okay? What happened so they became famous? Current life as an adult. So later on you will talk about now as an adult, how his life changed. Now he's famous already or she's famous already. How his life changed. What else did he do or she do, okay? In the conclusion, خلاص, we have an introduction, we have a body, minimum 2 paragraphs. خلاص, we written everything. The conclusion, it's like a summary, okay? The conclusion, what should we write? We focus on how the person has made an important effect on the world and how he or will he or she be remembered. So we will tell the reader how we will remember these people, this person, okay? So it's like just a reminder, the most important thing. 3 sentences is more than enough, okay? Now, how do I start? خلاص, you know there is an introduction, there is a body, there is a conclusion. طب كيف, how do I start? The first step, you have to choose the person. خلاص? You have to choose the person. Who do you think is worthy of writing about? Someone famous, you think he's a good person, and you want to write about. Like you can choose someone famous. Like if you remember the biographies in our lesson, we had a biography about Prince William, Prince Sultan bin Salman, a biography about King Salman bin Abdul Aziz. So all of these biographies, do you want to write about someone else? Okay. I remembered when I was teaching, one of my students wrote about the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Wrote a biography about him. So you can choose even a person if he's dead. It's okay to write about. Okay. So the first step, you have to choose the person. طيب خلاص, and I chose it. I chose this person. What should I do? The next step is to research. طب أنت, you know the name of this person. When did he die? When was he born? So you have to know these information. You will know it? لا. You will use Google. خلاص, use the internet to gather more information. When you know new information, write it down. Take notes. Gather a lot of information. Okay? Number 3, make sure to use the past tense for actions finished in the past. So when you talk about things happened in the past, make sure you use the correct tense, the past tense. If you're talking about now, then you can use the present. So pay attention to grammar when you are writing. Okay? Use the present when you are explaining events happening now. This is what we said already. make sure to use the correct prepositions of time and place. Do you remember the prepositions of time and place? On, in, and at. Use it properly, please. Okay? Use it properly. So, when you are writing, what are the things you include? You include it in your writing. You include the date and place of birth. This is an example. You can include other things, okay? But this is just to help you, okay? As a guidance. You can include how he or she spent childhood. How you can talk about their education. Where did they study? You can talk about their job, their activities, the things they spend their time on, their talents and interests, their hobbies. You can talk about their achievements, the things they accomplished in their life. And when success was reached, here I mean when they became famous. Why did they become famous, okay? And if they're not alive anymore, you can talk about their death, okay? Now, for your homework, we already know how to write a biography. We know what is a biography. It's you write about someone else, someone famous, usually an important person. So we talked about the steps how to write a biography. خلاص, you should start with the steps. You should choose a famous person, and then you should research about the person, and then start writing. When you finish your writing, you should check the grammar, the tense we're using. If we're talking about past action, we use the past. If you're talking about now, we use the present. We also should pay attention to the prepositions in, on, and at, the preposition of time and place. Also, when you're telling a story, do you remember the time expressions? When, after. These words will help tell your story, okay? So for your homework, you should start writing your biography. That's it for today. Inshallah, I will see you next lesson. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.